Moab, Utah at the Hollywood Stuntman's Hall of Fame. I want to introduce my good friend, the director of the Hollywood Stuntman's Hall of Fame, John Hagner.
Kenny,
John,
good to see you.
all right, John, can you tell us a little bit about your Hall of Fame?
So I sure can. The Hall of Fame was founded in 1973. 20 years of establishment, and we're located here in Moab. We've been here for the past 5 years. And we see stunt people and stars popping in on us all the time. We claim to have more footprints in the Chinese theater in Hollywood or any other place, over 300 footprints, primarily of the stunt people. And we have Dar Robinson's stunt car, his jump car actually, that is on display here. It was donated by his widow, and many pieces of memorabilia that date back to the early days of the films, silence included. We even show some of the footage of stunt people in action. So we're proud of all of this, and costumes, weapons, stunt equipment, thousands of stills, action stills. We have over 50,000 stills that I've been collecting for the past 40 years. So these are things that we're very proud of, and we also are the same as any other Hall of Fame, whether it's sports or whatever, because we honor stunt people for outstanding achievement in the profession. These are the inductees. We footprint anyone who is an entertainer in the entertainment field, including sports figures, but mostly it's for the stunt people. Come on, I want to take you on a little tour. You're going to enjoy this. This is stunts in the early cinema. We have represented Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, and the great Joe Bonomo, who was one of the leading stars of the silent films. And here are some of his memorabilia. For instance, his loincloth that he wore when he was the world's strongest man. And then we have lots of stills and huge poster-sized pictures of these famous stars of the silent days. This is how your tour begins in the Hall of Fame. And this is a stage 2 of our tour, and it features memorabilia from Ken Maynard, Kermit Maynard, Hoot Gibson, Buck Jones, and stars of the Western period of time, including Tom Mix. And this memorabilia was donated by the widows or by the stars themselves. So we feature this proudly, and then take it from stage to stage into the next segment. The next area here features one of the movies that was recently made here in Moab, a movie called Knights, and it stars Chris Christopherson, and there were several great stunt people up here for that. And we've got memorabilia that the production company donated to the Hall of Fame, and you see some of it here. This is one of the darkest areas for the exhibits because it's the cave entrance to a movie called Against the Crooked Sky that starred Richard Boone. And this film they made here in Moab. This is the actual front. This is an exhibit that explains the running W horse fall. This was a method for falling horses which was outlawed in 1938 because they were either injured or killed. Wires were attached to horses' legs. The rider then pulled wires, causing the animal to fall. Now they train horses. The stunt people have their own horses that they train to do the falls, so the animals never get hurt. This is one of Yakima Canutt's exhibits, and it features his stunt saddle, which he used in many pictures back in the old days where he would do running W falls, saddle falls, and so on. There is a cable hanging from the back of the saddle that has a ring at the other end. And Yak used to use this to do falls off the back of horses, and almost like a stirrup drag. But this is the way they did it back in those days. There's a gorilla skull here in this case that it was from an actual gorilla that Yakima Canutt was doubling for Clark Gable in a picture called Magambo. And he actually shot and killed this gorilla. Before Yak got into pictures, he was a rodeo champion, a bronc rider for a couple of years. And he did a lot of rodeoing with another stuntman named Cliff Lyons. And this was back in the 1920s. This is an exhibit of stuntman J.N. Roberts. He was a champion motorcycle rider and jumper. And this motorcycle, for instance, he used in several pictures. If it wasn't supposed to look like this particular motorcycle, they would camouflage it. So you can see that it's gone through the mill. His outfits that he wore in races and so on are pictured here on the walls. The exhibit in the case here shows one of Jim Arness's hats that he gave to his stunt double, Alex Sharp. And he signed it to Alex. This was when Jim Arness was doing Gunsmoke, Matt Dillon. Some of the other hats, for instance, there's one that Steve McQueen wore in The Magnificent Seven. And then you see the hat that James Brown wore in the TV series Rin Tin Tin. And his costume at his uniform actually is over here on display. This is a picture here of Burt Reynolds diving over a car. And he did do some of his own stunts in the early days of his film career. And then we're into the Cowboy Stars Wall of Fame that feature only some of the Cowboy stars. And some actually did some of their own stunts, but not all of their own stunts. In the glass case down here are the boots worn by Burt Reynolds when we footprinted him in 1975 in Palmdale, California. Also the boots of Hal Needham. He was there the same day. As a matter of fact, he's the one who brought Burt Reynolds to the Hall of Fame then.
We'll be right back in a minute.
No one in their right mind would do this on the street. Why do it on the water?
This breastplate here was used for shooting arrows into a man's body, and you put this on under your clothes. It has a steel backing to it and a balsa wood front, so the arrow sticks into the balsa wood front, and it's an archer, a champion archer who shoots the arrows at a distance of 10 or 15 feet away. Here are some of the arrows that they used for those particular scenes. And these boots belonged to Jimmy Stewart when we footprinted him in 1978. These are what he used and donated to the Hall of Fame. We even have a pair of Chuck Connor's jeans over here too. This exhibit of arrows and so forth was donated to the Hall of Fame by Iron Eyes Cody, very famous Indian actor and a very good friend of the Hollywood Stuntmen's Hall of Fame. These are priceless items that we are proud to have. This is an exhibit we're very proud of because it was filmed, a movie was filmed up here in Moab, and it was called Blue. It was made in 1967 and starred Ricardo Montalban and Terrence Stamp. And we're very proud of this because we do have several other exhibits. This is one in particular that we like. This exhibit, we feature shields and swords and all kinds of weapons that were used in medieval times that they've used in several of the movies, swashbuckling and so on. This exhibit shows Lee Diebold's footprints. Lee's been a friend of mine and a friend and supporter of the Hollywood Stuntmen's Hall of Fame for over 20 years. And he's very kindly donated some of his memorabilia. Red Adair, this is a jumpsuit that was worn by Jimmy Reno, who was one of the stunt people who worked in the movie Hellfighters. That was a movie starring John Wayne. He played a character named Chance, who actually was Red Adair. And the firefighting scenes were done by some top stuntmen. Chuck Roberson doubled John Wayne in this particular picture. Then we have the actual jumpsuit that Chuck Roberson wore when he doubled for John Wayne in that movie. This is another exhibit we're very proud of, and it's the John Wayne section of the Hall of Fame, and it features his prints in cement that we did from his boots that was donated to us by Chuck Roberson, John Wayne's stunt double. And in the case, we have one of his guns and pair of spurs and hat and boots and so on. This is a fire area in which we feature some of Ronnie Rondell's memorabilia, including his original stunt bag that was made especially for him many, many years ago. And of course, the Stunts Unlimited seal up on the wall, and two of the fire heads that Ronnie and many other stuntmen used in a lot of the great fire scenes of the movies. Were some of the items that were used in the movie Hook, and these items were donated by Gary McClarty, one of the honored members of Stunts Unlimited. And there's a few pictures of Gary here. This entire display case is devoted to a stuntman named Bill Ketching. And in there would be his spurs and his boots and stirrup step that he used to do saddle falls with, and lots of caps that represent some of the great associations and production companies, and a lot of toupees, and that he wore when he doubled for such stars as, Robert Stack, Dennis Weaver, and people like that, George Hamilton. But these are the toupees that he wore to look more like those people he doubled.
Well, look who's here. My good friend Delmar Thomas. Delmar?
Good to see you.
Same here. How you doing? Why don't you have a chair?
Thank you.
Make yourself comfortable. Why don't you tell us the films you've worked in?
Started doing stunts in 1942. I doubled Tadpole in the Autry series. It was one of my regular jobs. And I doubled a number of kids in the Roy Rogers pictures. Buzzy Henry, before he was, I think, 12 years old. And I worked at Republic, well, up until I had to go in the Army in late 1942. And then after the war, I came back and doubled a number of kids, went in the double Gene Tierney and the Egyptian. We were driving a chariot, four of them. And basically I took the horse work, the things that I knew how to do, and could do better than mechanical cars and the likes of that. Racehorse pictures. We made, looked like 2 or 3 every year while I was in the business. The Seabiscuit story being one of the most prominent. I worked in the business up until the early 60s. And by that time, some of the stuff was getting to be hard on old clothes. So I pulled out and went in the construction trade.
We'll be right back after this break.
What's wrong, Vince?
My woman's done left me, my dog ran away, and people still aren't wearing their safety belts.
Aw, Vince, you singing those buckle up blues again?
Some people don't wear their seat belts. I can't believe it's true. Those kind of people get knocked right out of their shoes. So buckle up, baby. Don't sing me those buckle up blues.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
I mean it, baby. Buckle, honeysuckle, buckle, yeah.
These fencing foils and the shield were Dave Sharp's, and when he passed away, we got all of his memorabilia. And his memorabilia is featured throughout the whole exhibit. This is a Dar Robinson exhibit, and we feature his footprints. We footprinted him in 1978, and it shows a few of the pictures of the stunts that he did. And his engineer and best friend, Kai Michelson, is also featured here with his footprints. Kai spends a lot of time at the Hall of Fame every year, and we're proud of that. This is the accelerator that Dale Robinson used when he jumped off the CN Tower in Toronto, Canada. It was donated by Linda Robinson and was used in other scenes of Burt Reynolds pictures, and it was designed by Kai Michelson. This is a rocket pack that was designed by Kai Michelson, and it was used in the Kevin Meaney show for HBO. This is another Yakima Canutt exhibit that features one of his hats that he wore back in the 1930s when he was working with John Wayne a lot. And also the Dusty Award, which is our equal to the Oscars. And the character is an image of a man with a faceless figure using a stunt bag and holding a can of film. And the statue, the bronze statue, is Yak riding a horse called Tipperary. 83 men tried to ride that horse, and Yak was the only one who succeeded. That was back in the early 1920s. This is an exhibit of another movie they made here just last year called Slaughter of the Innocents, filmed entirely in Moab. And it features some of the mannequins. This one mannequin, it took the special effects man 300 hours to make. And they were very kind to donate these items to the Hall of Fame. This is a Dave Sharp Action Theater, and this is where most of the inductees are represented. And in his display case is even his death mask and some of the items and weapons that he used in many pictures, hats and so on. And this we're very proud of. He was a very good friend of the Hall of Fame.
And the highlight of the Hollywood Stuntman's Hall of Fame is the footprinting. There are some 329 footprints on display, so where stuntmen all over the world will come to be footprinted.
Pierce, welcome to the Hollywood Stuntmen's Hall of Fame in Moab, Utah.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm sure glad to be here.
Well, we're
happy
honored
to meet you, John.
We're honored that you're here. We're honored to have footprinted you and present you with a couple of certificates. And on behalf of those who are going to be watching this, wanted to point out a few things that Pierce has done over the years. And he's been in the business for an awful long time, has worked with some of the greatest actors and stunt people in the business. And
well, I spent 30 years in the business. I should have done something, I guess, that was worthwhile. I made something like over 350 pictures that I worked in. And so I had a lot of experience, a lot of fun. I was always a bad man when I played a part, and never got the girl.
Never got the girl, never got the horse. You got the horse a lot.
Never won a fight.
Never won a fight.
Roy Rogers, Gene Autry.
Well, you fought with some of the best. So,
Sunset Carson, they all won the fights.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple of certificates that we wanted to present to you, and I have that honor on behalf of the Stuntmen's Hall of Fame to present you with the certificate of footprinting, which states that this is to confirm that Pierce Lydon has been footprinted for posterity on June the 12th, which is tomorrow. But since you're leaving tomorrow, we've done it today on the 11th, and he's hereby represented in the Hall of Fame as a member of the entertainment industry. That's one certificate, and this one I'm extremely proud to present to you for the Hall of Fame is the Board of Directors of the Hollywood Stuntmen's Hall of Fame accepts Pierce Lydon into the Hall of Fame for excellence in the stunt profession, and this is an honorary inductee certificate. There aren't many that we've honored in that particular position, but this we'd like you to have on behalf of the Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much.
And it
John.
has been voted in by a stunt committee who knows a little bit about what you've done over the years. So we have these two certificates we want you to have, and appreciate again your coming up.
Thank you very much, John.
You bet. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
This is great.
And you can leave your hat because it fits me well. Thank you very much. Herb Hall's proud to welcome you to Moab and the Hollywood Stuntmen's Hall of Fame.
Glad to be here.
And this is where we footprinted many stunt people and actors and stars. And we brought a lot of footprints up from California. And we're happy that you're among the ones to be footprinted today. So we're proud of that, having you here, and to present you later on at the dinner, the rep dinner, with a certificate of footprinting for having come to be honored.
Well, John, like I said, it's my first time here, and it's a real pleasure being here. A lot of nice people, good hospitality, and I feel the second best day of my life. First being getting in the Screen Actors Guild, and now being recognized by fellow stuntmen.
I'd like to thank John Hagner and also Delmar Thomas for stopping by the Hall of Fame. And until next week, see you on Life in the Fast Lane.
He always is the bad guy who gets it in the end. He's out there stuffing horses or falling off a train. He never won a gunfight, squabble or a brawl. For being such a loser, Hooper's really got it all. You can toss him, blast him, flip him and turn him, shoot him, hang him, bury and burn him. Chances are Hooper's back for more. Run him out, cross the ground, take a truck, run him down. He ain't easy, he's up and gone. You can hit him, kick him, gently abuse him, set him on fire, we'll abuse him. Heaven knows he won't hold a grudge. He'll look you in the eye and tell you with a smile there ain't nothing like the life of a Hollywood stuntman. Used to tell him he ought to settle down, find a steady woman, land a jumping town. Somehow that attraction never seemed to fade. You always see him leaving just before it gets too late. Going down the highway, rarely on the ground, never under 80, judging from the sound. Later in the evening, staring out the town, always seems to end up with the prettiest girl around. You can toss him, blast him, flip him and turn him, shoot him, hang him, bury and burn him. Chances are the Hoover's back for more. Run him out across the ground, take a truck, run him down. He ain't easy, he's up and gone. You can hit him, kick him, gently abuse him, set him on fire, we'll amuse him. Heaven knows he won't hold a grudge. He'll look you in the eye and tell you with a smile there ain't nothing like the life of a Hollywood stuntman. He'll look you in the eye and tell you with a smile there ain't nothing like the life, nothing like the life, there ain't nothing like the life of a Hollywood stuntman, stuntman, stuntman.